Hello, and welcome to Chapter 2 of my PICA Spitfire Mk IX build. This project was actually started in 2017 with the maiden flight following on October of 2019. Unfortunately, I lost 2018 due to illness, but was able to continue on and finish the project in 2019. So, on to the build. Anything that I had read on this particular airplane indicated that it was notoriously underpowered. So I elected to go with a rather large engine, DLE 55RA. That had a lot of benefits for this particular model. The main one being that the entire engine, muffler included, would be enclosed within the cowl. These shots were taken during the first engine run just to see how it was going to operate. No problems here, lots of power. So now it's back to the wing and the installation of ailerons and flaps. The plans called for center section servos and aileron and flap operation through bell cranks and push rods. I elected to install direct drive servos, one for each aileron and one for each flap. My Futaba 14-channel computer radio could easily accommodate this number of servos. Plus, the added advantage was I now had absolute control over each control surface individually. Here you can see the full flap movement and before the installation of the servo. Note the reinforcing blocks for the Robart pin hinges. It was now time to turn my attention back to the landing gear installation. It had to be working flawlessly and hopefully trouble-free. The landing gear has been temporarily clamped to the landing gear mounts and now follows a process of trial and error to get the landing gear to follow exactly into the wheel wells. This was actually a fairly lengthy process and took a fair amount of time and effort to get everything to work and function properly. As you can see, I had hooked up the radio receiver, so I was actually using the radio to do the gear operations. Here you can see the wheels finally set into the wheel wells, everything exactly where I want it, and now it's time to drill the mounts and make it permanent. Here you can see the flap servo setup. I used heavy-duty ball links along with steel control horns. This made for a very robust system. With the controls now all installed and operational, also the landing gear was now installed and operational, it was time to clean up the wiring in preparation for the wing sheeting, which would be my next big job. Due to the fact that there was 5 servo leads that would need to be installed and connected each time the wing was taken off, that would be one for each aileron servo, one for each flap servo, and of course the landing gear. So I had researched and located a multi-plug servo lead attachment. I was able to incorporate this into the wing structure, so now I would only have 2 points to make all those connections. Here is another view of the servo lead routing. This servo lead would be going to the ailerons. Everything is now ready for the wing sheeting, so on to that process. I edge glued the balsa sheeting that was to be used on the wing, carefully trimmed it to the wing rough outline. Then, with the aid of do-it-yourself sandbags, some spring clamps, and a fair amount of glue, white glue, I was ready to laminate the wing skin to the wing. I used the white glue to allow for enough time to position the wing skins, get them exactly where I want, and to make sure that they were contacting the wing ribs at all points. I didn't know it at the time, but this particular glue that I used was going to cause me some difficulties later on in the sanding process. At any rate, at this point, the wing, except for the center section, was now skinned only on the bottom. Because the wing cannons stuck out from the leading edge of the wing for a considerable distance and would be prone to getting broken off quite easily, I decided to mount them so they could be detached at any time. This was accomplished by drilling a hole through the leading edge through a previously installed block and then installing a rare earth magnet with a steel on the end of the gun, so when I inserted it into the wing, it automatically was held in place. The drilling of the wing was the tricky part in this operation, but as you can see, it came out reasonably well. They're basically parallel and level. This last picture shows the alignment, and as I said, it came out reasonably good. Well, that's a wrap for this chapter. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. If you have enjoyed it, please hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any more future videos. Thanks again for watching, and stay tuned, more to come.